gentlemen, we back. All right. So going back to this, dealing with the Irish mental, bringing in the spring in the right way, and saying farewell to winter, old man or old woman winter, whatever you want to call it. Do a little recap on the pilgrimage thing. So really, the pilgrim, when we think of pilgrims, we think about the people that came over here on the so-called Mayflower and terrorized the Indians and all that, or Native Americans or whatever. Which I find it funny. I find it interesting that they, their dress code is the same as the, what they call them, the Baba Witch of Jewels, something like that. You don't really see them too much here. But I know in New York, you see them going down the street with the locks hanging down. They get that from us, the Horace locks, the two locks, that hat, and the black and the white. Even that black and the white thing, when you see me, I done it when I done it for the Thank God It's Friday thing. I done it as a play on Friday. You know, Craig had the black and white flannel on. That's why I was doing it. I was breaking down the TGIF, which I'm coming back with some explosive shit with that. But thinking it's a deity called Jiminu, which is funny because it goes back to Jimmy. It goes back to Jimmy. Eddie Griffin on Irish Jam, but Jiminu, it was basically a dude who came to save the planet or whatever, just to put it in lack of better way of putting it right now. But he's associated with the colors black and white, so I was like, oh, that all fits in. I didn't find out about him till after that, but and then you go to the Kamites. Kunsu is associated with black and white. You see him playing chess. Yeah, but but I just found that interesting right there. You know, you see a pilgrimage usually the black and the white or whatever, which corresponds with the I always do. I got everything together right now. Shit. It's kind of organized today, so I think, yeah. Which corresponds to the, alright, I thought I would. Alright, let's not do the bullshit today. Hold up. Where's this at now? Here we go. Hold up. Shit. Right here. Which, man, I ain't got some damn. I'm trying to retire this one and make me a new one. Put the tape on it later. And which corresponds to, like I was saying, when the basically that's when this. Go look up Kunsun. I forgot what the. I didn't even play chess, but I forgot the more details on what he's symbolic of. But this goes up. Okay, we'll do it one more time. It's the land before time. Up here, this is evil women. That's just a joke, but kinda. But evil, this is before light. Before the light. Eve means before, ill means light. Or star, or God, or whatever. This is before the light. When they talk about the flood story, Noah and all that, not just the water flood, they talking about the flood of light. And the flood of whatever comes out of each one of these chakras when the sun comes back down and pushes the earth up. But when this shoots up, this comes out, whoop, whoop. These fills the flanks up, or fills the surface up, or creates the earth's surface. And see if I can do this in order. So, dealing with Ptah. Now, Ptah, that is dealing with the pygmies. Ptah is the dung beetle, right? Or it's represented by the scarab beetle. And even when you look at the name Ptah, first and foremost, the Tuatha, the lowercase. And mind I'm saying lowercase for a reason. But Tuatha is low to the oath. People's feelings get hurt when they real. That boy out, that damn Paul. Similar to what Ant called it low to the oath. Why the hell would I do that? So, time is flying by fast when you this shit. So this will be the bird's eye view. I'm gonna shortchange it. Well, I ain't even getting paid for this shit, so I ain't even such thing as shortchanging a motherfucker. But shit. But this is the bird's eye view of this. I can't even get squeeze a quarter out of niggas. I'm supposed to be cool with around this motherfucker. This is the bird's eye view of this. And so when that goes up, boom, the light comes through the middle. You know the story. For us, the flanks. And this right here. So all these little, so you see this going on. That's Ra or Osiris in his whole state before he's before the dismemberment or whatever. Which just cutting him into the 14 pieces just represents that. So that's why I be trying to say, don't take this shit too literally. Don't claim your Osirianism, but don't be looking to get cut in no fucking 14 pieces. Just like, you know, just like I'm Christ, but you niggas is not gonna hang me up on no fucking cross. This is what the shit was talking about, the light. Now I just kept really the light would cover all that, but this is the path. See, Patah, you take the T and the A, you switch them around, you got path. Because Patah, I'll tell you how they tunnel out the underworld, tunneling all this out, and digging the tunnels and creating the and was tunneling out the underworld and creating the pockets where the water would, well water and spring water would be at, and your precious minerals and diamonds and all that gold and all that up under here. That they're the miners. Would you see gold miners today? They would be gold miners are a representation, or basically in a spiritual world, they would be the gold mine or the miners, creating the shit you would mine. So when all that light, when the melanin is coming down here and creating the flanks or whatever, the light that's coming, so you got melanin coming, melanin pouring through them holes. This goes up, the melanin is coming through. This, you know, light, you got light coming through the middle, melanin coming through the middle. Gel, on gel, the vaporous gel, the amdullah, even that, amdullah. That's why the Muslims, one of their symbols is the crescent moon, because the crescent moon, the cow, and Norse is the Amdullah, Audhmila, I think how they spell Amdullah. But they don't tell. If I say they took the mother out the shit, like that's why we won't get into that. But that's why even it's an imbalance with the mother shit, because we think the matriarch and the woman's supposed to. It used to be a matriarch and the woman used to run everything. It's always about balance, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We're finna get that up. So when that light's coming up, these is Patah. See, Patah is active in its masculine energy. So when you hear about the cults of Patah, now those were cults. We did have cults back then, or groups or whatever. But the reason why people such as myself and other scholars who's smart stay away. That's why Bobby be saying, I agree with him. Bobby always is big on not fucking groups. They're too easily infiltrated. You get caught up in bullshit. So I'm down with the new comedic movement. And next thing you know, they send a nigga in there and make him the star of the show of the new comedic movement. And he ended up being a fucking agent provocateur, dividing and conquering, just like you hear about Malcolm. You'd be like, well, that's propaganda. So the first thing you say, well, Malcolm own people killed him, the Muslims killed him. Yeah, but no, these was agents they put in there to do that. But they did it that way so that it'll take the heat off of the white man. And so the first thing come out your mouth was, well, first, the first thing we all know, because we all know when assassinations be coming from. But see, that's how they lay it out. First thing we say, oh, that white man, that funky white man, and cute. And I'm not talking about all white people, so I don't want to preface. I got to preface that because I'm not a racist, but that's the science. I'm trying to hurry him do this so I don't get off track, but the first thing we're going to say is, oh, that white man done it, which would be right. And then they'll slowly leak the information. They'll wait a little bit, and then they'll put the information out. Well, and they ain't saying this happened with Malcolm because it was obvious when it happened. It was niggas there when he done it. But they do it like that, and you'd be like, well, his own people killed him, and the whole while there be some Asian shit going on. And I'm not knocking what the old nation is. I'm saying they hijack shit. But just to get it out, I'm just using that as an example. But the groups, that shit is. I'm not talking about rap groups and shit like that, little cliques in the hood. I'm talking about even that shit. You better watch that shit too. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like within consciousness and shit. And then you got, it might be one bad apple in the bunch. He do some dumb shit, and everybody looking at the whole group like they fucked up. Be like, no, that's just that nigga. But that's why Bobby said he don't be really big on them groups and shit. But we would have so-called cult. The word cult. And I'm talking about cult now, C-U-L-T, not the cult, but cult called a bad rap because a lot of cults was government and they I'm slipping. Get my boy in here. Get my boy in here. Oh. Cowbell. Cowbell, man. I need to watch the cowbell, man. Get a little love in your heart around him, motherfucker. That's some old school shit. But let me hurry up on the timeline. But yeah, now we did have cults. So you hear about the cult of Osiris, the cult of Ptah. It's basically schools. That's all it is. You go to the cult of Osiris or the school of Osiris to learn about Osiris and shit. You go to Ptah to learn about Ptah was patriarchal shit. So the men would go to the patriarch, learn how to do men shit, mining and whatever else, Ptah, masculine energy, movement. Women would probably go to women cults would be like Bastet. That's the feminine, that's the cat. Not saying that cats are just you look at the cat nature, even women in cats will be kind of an androgynous thing because cats, the nature of cats are more like women. That's why we always call it the pussy cat and pussycat dolls and all this. So you have man, you really don't even know what the hell a cat is. It's hard to tell whether that's why I think it's one of the things that's special about them. Because you look at a cat, you don't even know what the fuck. I'd be like, cat come and sit in your lawn and shit. You be like, why did he do? What is that anyway? He or her, but whatever. But you go to learn women shit like that, and then after that, you probably go somewhere where you have to learn both the other side, because eventually you have to the husbandry. You learn your husbandry shit, but you have to learn the feminine shit too, so that you can to balance out your masculine and feminine side, whatever. So that's so when you hear about bodies about the groups and shit, that's more so a modern thing. He's right about that shit because, and then especially groups, like I say, I'm a 5%er, but you're not. The difference is for one, the spiritual reason I went through that. That spirit realm shit. For one, two, we don't stifle niggas. You supposed to learn about everything. Most groups, once you start learning about shit that's outside of what they're like we got strict shit too. Like you can't say you're 5% eat pork. We not hearing it. That's just or any kind of Muslim really. You got niggas that do it though with backslide and shit. rare. I swear. The other with nigga, anyway, I am, but yeah. But it ain't necessarily just strict rules about it, but the knowledge. I'll put this. But the knowledge is about it's free. You learn about everything, so you're encouraged to learn about it. It ain't okay. We 5% to hell with the Christians in the Bible. No, you're supposed to go learn the Bible. You're supposed to go learn the Quran. You're supposed to go learn about anything, everything, because what we say is the world, the earth is ours. The black man is the owner, the maker, the cream of the planet Earth. To know thyself is to know everything in existence, because everything in existence exists within you to some degree. That's why I brought up the racism shit. Even the so-called Caucasian or whatever you want to call them, comes from an element of you. Or whatever. That's why my enlightenment always said, because in the lessons, it called it like me the grafted skunk of the planet Earth. But my enlightenment was like, we stopped saying that. Well, this is the lesson, but even like the skunk part, you don't want to really rock with that. That's why services do. You have to update certain shit. He was like, because you can't call them a skunk because they come from us, for one. So it's like, that'll be like saying, that'll be another way of, he said that when I was in jail, but that'll be another way, that'll be parallel to what Bobby said about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, or just totally saying fuck the white man altogether. We just put everything in. Plus, like I say, there's niggas out here who need to be saying fuck them niggas. So at this point, it ain't even about that. It's about where your mind at. When it comes to the black and white thing or whatever, because you got some white people out here that got more sense than niggas and are more tuned to the oneness than niggas are. Babe, trust me. So but you have these groups where certain groups will stifle your knowledge. So it might be some shit, the spirit might be leading you to something, be like, hey, you need to read about this. And then the group will be like, oh no, that's, or the leader of the group will, no, you can't read that book. We're not into that. And then cut you off from some shit you need to be, keep you stuck in some shit. So I just want to say that. But Patar, about the coats and shit, but Patar, the putter, he flood this, and then leave or put when this retracts back and comes to the border before it shoots out to create the heavenly bodies or the stars, it leaves little seed stars, little seed sparks, or putar or puts. So you got putar, then you got another. You got what they call the put cycle in Egypt, which is this. You hear about the put cycle. The put cycle is associated with the number 9. It's associated with the number 9. So that would be that man over in the corner. You see him? It's kind of ripped. I can get him in now. You probably can't see it like that, but yeah. But I didn't even do it on purpose. I was shading, and the shape just came like that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be Patar. The path. He creates the path. See how the interchanges, how the deeds interchange, Anubis. There's Anubis, the hound dog. They got to give different ways of Anubis. The hound that goes before the hunters. Patar goes up and creates the path for the other 7 to come up. But that's the put cycle. So when all that energy is retracting from the center to the edge of the circumference, it's digging and putting or leaving seeds behind, just like the scarab leaves seeds in the dung. This would be the dung or the earth. Like we're dungeon from the dungeon underground. The dungeon. So the ocean water and the rivers and all the waters or whatever would be would fill the depressions that was the dug out. Then you still have islands on the top too, or land, so all the sea creatures would be created there. And then, down here, then the water floods and bring them life. And then the top would be the land creatures. So you have a depression in there, and then you have the land sitting higher, the mountains, and one of the other things they're doing, this would be Canoon, the molder, the potter, as well, because when it's going back, it's molding the shapes out of the flesh, of the physical planet, including humans, molding the bodies of all the physical things, of the physical beings, of the physical animals. So you have up top, you have like the mounds, we would be the mounds, the bottom and the top, the physical bodies being molded from the dirt of the earth, or I say from ash to ash, dust to dust, or God made men from the earth and all that. That's where they come from. But it's the puts off or whatnot, and then the trees would come when after that. Right, so you have all these line up like this here, and they sitting like that. This would be looking like that. The surface would be looking like this. As the light retracts backwards, the light in the center, or the lights in the center, retract into each other, or whatnot. So, but while this is rising, like I say, this is with the whole the same way the sun causes water to precipitate from the oceans. Same thing. The sun or the light rising up is water. It's moisture rising up out of the melanin. That's why water is so important. You got to put water in your body to bathe the melanin or moisturize the melanin, because the more dehydrated you become, the more dry, rigid, frigid, the more aggravated and bad tempered you become. That's what the whole guy, the T-Qua, the T-Qua, I think it's T-Qua. The Teen Qua Lee is shown as the ugly beggar who is bald and bearded and leaning on an iron crutch, which is his symbol. He is bad-tempered and has unusual ways, but his cause is directed to the poor and the weak. So he's not necessarily a bad person, so to speak, or bad entity, but it's basically saying how basically that's this. When all this goes up, this stuff I'm saying, that's Saturn. When this goes up and all that light shoots out the center, creating a brim around the frozen, the top is Pluto, the light surrounding what would be surrounding this after all the stars shoot out, that would be the brim of the hat. This would be the cap or the base or whatever, the top or whatever. All this would be up here, and this would be a froze barren wasteland. And this would be the crutch, the iron crutch. Iron, ore, all your metals underground, the iron crutch. Bad tempered because, just like I told you, for one, that's the ugly beggar, because that's ugly. When this goes up, this is frozen, all this is carved out and unfinished and ain't done yet, or whatever. So it comes off as ugly, the gaping mouth of a dragon. The teeth will be the mountains up here, because there'll be mountains right here on each side or whatever. So and the what other one I would put it in Lancier Hole, the gardener. That's why I say it's the gardener, the wise gardener. He was a good seed. He was a wild gardener. The gardener, because like I said, the seeds that are planted are left behind after this. The little golden specks that are left behind, or residue that are left behind, is the seeds of the gardener. Dealing with the green life, the plant life today. So that's spring in action. Seeing farewell of winter. Winter is not necessarily bad. I don't want to program you to think that every time winter come around, oh shit, it's bad. No, because like I said, growing up, winter was just winter. It wasn't like, oh, winter came around and shit got all fucked up. No, but I will tell you this much. Watch your temper. Try to keep vitamin D in you, because they say vitamin D, the lack of vitamin D based off the sun, not being able to give us the amount of vitamin D we need during the winter. That leads to sadness or whatever. So beware your temper. The holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, all the holidays are gorging and guzzling. So you're supposed to eat, do your thing, whatever. But Lent, this is where Lent comes from. After Christmas, you're supposed to fast to a certain degree. Now, this was an involuntary fast for me, but I guess you could say, I guess some spiritual shit too. But I was fucked up this winter. This was an extreme for me. But I'll see from now on, like when I am able to, I ain't fucked up or whatever. You watch how much you eat, because for one, you can't burn it off as fast because the sun ain't out as much, or it ain't as hot, so you ain't gonna be able to sweat as much to get the toxins and all that shit off and knock the weight off, for one, or whatnot. And two, it just teach you not to be greedy anyway, just to get your greedy shit out during the holidays, and then after that, whatever. But that's why with me, really, after, and which ain't even really, my favorite day of the winter is, cause no Thanksgiving in November, that ain't really winter, but it start getting cold around the time, so we associate it with winter. But shit, the only 3 days I like winter too, but you gotta be prepared. Like I say, you gotta have your money right. There's for one thing, being broke in the winter is too bad. You don't want to be that shit, especially if you can't afford a coat and shit. But if you got your shit, Bears got it right. See, they know niggas get funky when the winter comes. That's why they come winter. Let me get my shit to go in this cage. These niggas calm down. They know it's gonna be some bullshit, but niggas been sad. With the winter, it's more so about sadness. Because the winter is extreme, and the summer is extreme too. So with the summer, it's more about the anger, the heat. So the negative part of summer, if you ain't got your shit together prepared, would be anger. The winter would be sadness. That's why people who can't afford Christmas gifts and all that shit have, pressure of trying to make sure you can partake of the festivals of winter. If you ain't financially in the right place or whatever, can cause sadness or whatever. That's what the young lady I was telling y'all about, who we talked about that with her and her family. And I was talking to the 19-year-old chick that I was working with. But that and and of course you want to make sure you got some shit, the right type of winter gear, so you can pad up. But once you do all that, when you got all that shit, you pretty much alright. That's why the lights, and that's what that shit is about. The lights and the music and that fairy music too. Have a holly jolly Christmas and cheers and all that shit. That's all that is to keep the spirits lifted up, to help keep the spirits lifted up, because that winter is going to could possibly be a sad time of the year. That's what the Christmas gifts and all that shit about, bringing the joy back with that. That's why I like the holidays, because there's a lot of joy between Halloween and Christmas, because Halloween, kids, candy, masks and shit, everybody going trick-or-treating, having fun like that. November, everybody waiting to eat. Family members who ain't got to see each other all year come together. You got certain people that's anticipating that, I'm finna see my cousin, such and such. I want to get to see him during the holidays because, they stay in Michigan and I'm in Texas and this shit. And I remember, because I was one of those kids. I was finna go to San Antonio and see my family and shit. That's why I said it was totally opposite when I went down there, but to stay temporarily, try to get on my feet and shit. It was like, what are you doing here? Not everybody, but one of my cousins literally said that shit. The one that was staying, I came home and she was like, when I came and I finally got there and I was unpacking my shit, she was like, what you doing? Like, not another nigga. Like, damn, what the fuck I do? You know, but that kind of, I don't want to exaggerate to hurt my feelings because I'm a stiff nigga. But that shit rubbed me the wrong way. So, give me 1 second. Yeah, with the gardener, the gentleman, it was a Jimmy Too knows. This is the thing too, the Jimmy thing I was telling you about, but it's gentleman is the is a deity with black and white skin that supposed to restore the earth to the righteous. Let's put it in layman terms. But I was saying about the gardener, the seed plant. So when trees, this is where the trees come in at. When you push, all this comes back up, right? This is right. When they come down, it plants the seed, boom, right here. It's like a bark. This pushes up, and then on the highlands up here, the highlands, where you go see the highland there. There can only be one. That's where the gathering shit come when they says at the end of the age, there's got anything you gotta get out of two. People like the end of the world, and no, it's the end of the age. At the end of the age, which is the end of the last age, they said there would be a gathering. That's why American is the melting pot. That's why all the different spiritual systems all culminate here. And we know more than Africa, even though people like Africa is the motherland, but now over here, they done ransacked and beat Africa down so much that all the knowledge resurfaces over here, which was supposed to be predestined. But when this comes down and this goes up, that's just like this bark comes up. While this is pushing up, the trees are coming up here on the highlands or whatever, or whatnot. So, but it's Jimmy, put this shit in your search. Jimu Tino is a culture hero too. I had it mixed up, but yeah. So let's get to this, back into this massive. So where was he at? I'm gonna read this stuff. Now we're gonna get back to the Irish mental work. This is relevant, but this is another chapter, but it's relevant shit right here. All right, Massey, ancient Egypt light of the world. Ancient Egypt light of the world. A subterranean pursuance open to the eastward of the mountain of the earth called Now. The here and now. Eastward of the earth. The sun rises in the east. The earth of eternity. This is a paradise to which the mains look forward on their path of progress. It was the field in which they had to till and grow the divine harvest. And it's funny because this is fresh right here. I just turned to this page a little bit before I started. That's how I've used this too. I wasn't even thinking about this, but it's using this. But I just ran into this. But before this, I was thinking in my mind. I think about that part of it. I was thinking about how people be like, thinking that other people can save them. It's like, no. As a collective, I could come and give you the information that can save your life, save your spiritual life, or whatever you want to put it. But you got to put your own work in around here. I can give you lead you to the water, but you got to drink. That's the work. I was saying that before I even turned to the page. I turned to this page serendipitously, and I saw this. I said, "Oh, okay, let me get into that." But anyway, it was a field in which they had to till and grow the divine harvest as the food of the gods. For our rule was a portion on the small allotment system. Each one had a share of arable land to cultivate, and by the fruit was known and judged at the great harvest home as true worker. Was known. This is key right here. Each one had a share of arable land to cultivate, and by the fruit, but they say you judge a tree by its fruit, right? So when you look at these niggas and they talking like they big shots, they ask me, what have you done for me lately? Or what have you done lately? What have you done lately? And by the fruit was known and judged at the great harvest home as true worker or lazy one. Oh, no. No honey for the lazy one. You can fucking anger. No anger. Get out of that shit. Pilgrimage. I ever think about the pilgrimage too. The pilgrimage, the pill is the sun. Making it, when you say the pilgrimage, that's why the pilgrimage is associated with November and all that shit, Thanksgiving. The pilgrimage, the pill is the sun. The pill, shout out to AI, the pill pusher, the pill is the sun. Making his journey through the grimness of winter. The aged one, the grim age. Don't be the grim age. Pure heart, open that heart up. Put a little love in your heart. That keeps you looking young, vivacious. You hardening up, stiffening up, you dehydrating, you dry, cracking up. You want to drink soda all day, drink water. You can drink the other shit too, but sugar, all that shit, a lot of shit we eat dehydrates us in America. Or period nowadays. Dehydration leads to stiffening up the arteries. That's why they say the arteries get to clogging up and stiffening. Temperaments get bad. I hate everything. All this old dumb shit. And you walk around with a mad and it's not good luck. But through the grim age, so it comes out the other side, in the spring where everything is green and glowing and supposed to be, even the days look better. Oh shit, we got that bullshit, that greatness. But winter can be cool too. I think you just gotta have your shit together. You gotta be like them bears. Them bears have their shit ready. Pack it up. Niggas getting stupid. December 22nd. Oh, let's go to the cave, Cubs. They finna get crazy out here. Let's go to that cave. Hey, them bears. Oh, you gotta study. We study that. Why we study the nature of animals. They ain't no shit. They say with them natural disasters, get to hitting other places and shit. Elephants get to running. They still group of elephants running this wild migrating. And oh yeah, it must be something that happened over there. All the elephants is trying to watch them. But work or lazy one. You gotta put your own work in. And that's what religion fucks it up. It had you thinking that I was gonna come in. I'll come, but you have to help you save yourself. There ain't no just I'm gonna do all this. You gonna run around here shaking your ass. Yes. Tell you because my stick said that when I told her about the Christ, when I told him about my leg and shit. I was like, man, you need to give me this information. She was like, no, I'll just be saved through you. I was like, it doesn't work like that. She says that, actually. I was like, man, I'm Christ, man. She's like, what you talking about? I'm trying to break it down. I was like, man, you need to read this information, man. Get into these books and shit. I'll just be saved. She said, I'll be saved through you. I was like, oh, no. Sportsman failed. You failed as a win. You failed. I hope you woke up now, wherever you are. If you're watching this shit, she probably is. But, and she thought, I say she comes from the neighborhood she originally came from before she moved to Southwest. It's associated with botanicals and shit, and plant life, and all that shit. And she is the fucking Tuatha and shit. But if you don't know yourself, I can see it and shit, and I can tell you, but if you don't act on it, I don't want to put out there, but I can sit and break it down and show you. Just like the one for the dark-skinned one. And there was one more chick too. Before I took it serious, I really liked her. One of my Astroworld girls, but it went left too fast. So I was really thinking of digging her, but we didn't. That's this whole thing. But all right. So and by their labor in this spirit world, Egyptians earned lazy work. And by their labor in this spirit world, Egyptians earned their living for the life hereafter. The lower Aru, the gardens eastward in Amenta, is that earthly paradise of legendary lore in search of which so many heroes sail. And in the Eric saga, Eric sets out in search of Odin's Sacker, a form of the Norse paradise, which is said to be encircled by a wall of fire. The wall of fire. The pure fire, which is this, the light. When all this retracts to this, it's called the rampart. And it's funny as we bring the rampart up because I'm going into this Biggie and Pac thing in a minute. So, but that would be the wall of fire, the firewall. And then after all the creation process takes place, this becomes the ice wall. It's the ice wall you be hearing talking about. There's something over there outside the ice wall. No, it ain't. That's the end of this shit. The ice wall. The further you get out from the center, the colder shit gets. The ice wall they talking about is this. Ain't no fucking nothing outside the ice wall but space and time. Or space. Time is predicated on the motion of the heavenly bodies. So, what we call time. He enters a dark forest land in which the stars are seen by day. A dragon bars his way across the river, the apex of darkness in the valley of darkness. He rushes into the monster's mouth and passes through its body. And I ain't got to keep pulling this up. You should be able to comprehend that shit now. But a common way with the solar hero. Eric, the Eric, the Ik, the Wick, the irrigation. Irrigation means to shoot water up, spring water, irrigate, or water, or create a dam, or whatever. Erect, to erect. Watch your meat intake too, and your cholesterol and all that shit. I was telling you about the Cosby Show episode. Helps you out down there. You won't be so hard. You won't be so much of a difficult task to have an erection. Eric, it's all relevant. Eric, you think I'm being funny, but the erect, Eric, the erects or rises. The when it's erects, this the light spurs out like it's irrigating. Irrigating, the ik. This is the ik, the id. The ik's the wick of the candle, the ik. The ickity. Back to the whole foolishness. But Eric emerges with his companions in the land of light, the royal paradise of the mythos. After a while, they come to a tower that is suspended in the air without any visible supports. Access to it was obtained by means of a ladder that enabled the seeker to reach the top of the tower, which had neither foundations nor pillars. They had now attained Odin's Sacker. That's another thing too. That's why I say I'm an Osirian nigga. That's one of the things when I realized I was Osirian, because one of the chicks that I was my first serious relationship was light skinned, but the one before that was dark skinned. But the light skinned one, I was trying to get the light skinned one before I got the dark one. But she wasn't doing the boyfriend girl. She wasn't as fast as other women. So to me, to her, it was just a joke. She wasn't even in the thing of having a boyfriend yet when we was in middle school. And then the dark skinned one, even her name and shit is, I don't want to get too separate. Her name is Tuatha and related and shit. But yeah, when I started learning all this, I said, oh, yeah, I am the most sorry because, you know, but yeah. After a while, they come to They had now attained Odin's Sacker, the earth of living men, the Egyptian land of the living, but not the upper paradise, the place of spirits perfected, which is said to be so glorious that Odin's Sacker in comparison was but a desert. It's basically saying when the world was like this, when the moon was still attached to the top of the earth before we finished or before it was perfected, this was the desert. When all the light finished carving out the earth, and it was like this again, just with the light specks in it, and the dig holes in it. This was the desert, the drought, the negation. It had water in it, but the water was froze beneath it. They had to do. get thirsty and try to drink ice, you have to wait till that shit melt, right? But the place of spirits perfected. The place of spirits perfected is the physical. Once the creation process was finished, those bodies, our physical bodies that was up here waiting to come alive, the spirit, the energy that the sun brought down here mixed with those specks of light on top of those clusters. When each one of these passed through there, so everybody would be, your soul would either be from one of these. These are what went on to become the planets. So your soul would be, so all this bullshit these niggas talking about, I'm from planet Jigsaw. Yeah, it's all extra shit. That's why I'm starting to look at some of these niggas scholarship. Like, what the fuck? That's why niggas are talking. That's why I say it be sounding like niggas on some sci-fi shit. Cause I be like, where is that? Well, they came from the Anunnaki landed in Anunnaki shit ain't no Earth shit. That's serious. That ain't no. These niggas be talking crazy, bro. Like, if you gonna write sci-fi, bro. Don't be talking to these people like, yeah, I came from planet Frostron. They had 4 eyes and 24 arms, and the ladies was this tall. And just like, which correspond that to one of these? Because I did the work. Saturn ain't even a planet. That's a condition that we was in. But the reflection of that condition would be Old Man Winter. Saturn Chronos, that's why I call Saturn Chronos. It's not a planet out there. Pluto, that's why you told you Pluto, they had to come out to you the truth in a slick way by saying, oh, Pluto doesn't exist no more. Or there is, when they found out what I know now, which is Pluto is the moon and not some other planet, they had to tell you, well, Pluto is not in our orbit no more. Whatever the fuck they say, it drifted away or it's not here no more. Whatever. Pluto is the moon. This is Saturn Chronos, Pluto. That's why it's the ice. Pluto is the moon. This is Pluto. Pluto is fused with Saturn. Saturn is when the stars shoot out and create the brim around the Earth. Pluto corresponds to the moon, which is ice. They never tell you that though. They just tell you about Pluto. They'll tell you the moon is actually an ice block. But they did a number on niggas. Like I said, these niggas get to talking about these different planets, man. I be wondering about them. Yeah, I'm from planet Chickamon, the Chickamon planet. Where is that at? Don't believe the hype. And that all come from movies. Niggas watch too many movies. But I be tripping with my eyes that big and shit. But I know my shit don't do that. I'm gonna do that when I'm talking in the camera because I got a lazy eye and shit. But that shit crazy. But yeah, man. Hollywood does that, and it's cool. I ain't saying use your imagination when it comes to entertainment and movies and shit or whatever. That's one thing. But when it comes to scholarship, it's getting dangerous because you start having people thinking they from these planets that don't exist. Well, I'm from a planet Veracoi, and we wear Velcro all day. All this old stupid shit. Like, I've been studying a while, but I've never heard of that. Or even if you say something I ain't never heard of, if I can't trace that shit back or link it to Kemet or even over here, the fucking Aztecs, the Olmecs, or Asia, or even Ireland, Norse mythology, if I can't link it back to something, it has no legs to stand on. I'm a scholar. I laugh and joke and talk shit, but I can do that shit because I put the work in. So I can come in this bitch and, yeah, because as soon as you get to say, oh, that nigga ain't nothing but a booty chaser. Oh, no. Come here. Get to putting that scholarship on your ass, boy. What is he doing? Come to that lane. Oh, I thought he was just a weed smoker. No. Oh, I know my shit, buddy. So, yeah. Yeah, boy, you don't get in that ration ring with me, boy. I stick to the Pepsi Cola. Fuck Pepsi. Ever since that Mike thing, it just didn't sit right with me. That's probably why my grandma don't like Pepsi. She's a cola woman. I'm a Coca-Cola man, if anything. Fuck the Pepsi. Stick to the Coca-Cola, boy. You better know I knew it. You better know I knew it. But that's interesting too. Yeah, y'all want to get off track. I ain't even got to know what something. Yeah, it'll be alright. I got time for that anyway. So anyway, but that's why when you get to I used to hear Bobby. I can't remember what book you heard. You speak about the perfected man. The perfected man is the highest thing is no aliens in the sky. That's some other bullshit too. Ain't nothing. I seen a shooting star this morning though. I was up early, like before the sun rose up, to walk to the stove. And I seen a shooting star. Yeah, and it was sparkling. Which reminded me of Leah too, cause she's supposed to play Sparkle. It was like a sparkle. I was like, damn, what was that? And I was thinking some deep shit when that shit happened too. So but there's no goddamn aliens. This is the shit I'm telling you about now is what the little green men are. It's in the earth, the fairies. They ain't no spaceships and shit. I was talking about Kinfolk the other day. I had talked to him in a minute. I really no disrespect to my Kinfolk. I ain't talked to him in a minute, so I was glad to see him and shit. But we was talking. He was like, yeah, we was talking. He was like, yeah, man, you know, some cigars in the sky. I was like, and he said it like, cause we talk. Me and him always been like this though. We always before, even when I was young. That's why I say we been outside the box thinkers and shit. So when he said like some cigars in the sky, I was like, he lost me for. Did I miss something? I had the cigars in the sky. What's that? He said, them cigars in the sky. I was like, no, I don't know. So I started thinking about this. I thought, well, shit, maybe he seen my shit. They talking about this is a cigar. I don't know. But I thought, oh no, he talking about I was like, no, ain't no spaceships, bro. That shit is. If you do see some UFO shit, it's not gonna be physical. It's gonna be some, or the way Sirius would look, or the stars. It'll be something like that, or maybe a little bright or vibrant glow. But if it looks, it's not gonna be a physical ship. That's another thing. The ship that you see, the UFO, is based off of the Saturn. Off. What fucking heck, man? This is what the UFO is based off of. First and foremost, the hat is got the darkness of space. This was what after the light shoot out the borders of the earth out of that last border. These would be the gold would be the stars. The light would be the darkness would be the backdrop of space. But when they first shoot out, this would be the moon sitting on top of Earth or whatever. So when they shoot out, it'll look like this because it's shooting out from every part of the circumference. This is your head. The pineal gland would be the center, or the pineal gland would be sitting in the center. That's the spaceship. They say even when you get a I think it was Dr. Africa had a picture of the pineal gland sitting in the brain, and it looked like a spaceship. They tell you the spaceship and a little green man are coming from out there to throw you off and keep you from looking at yourself. Even my pops and shit, he's Christian, but he always be like, you think we the only ones around here? There's UFOs, and he got a point. And then I grew up and started finding out the real. I'm like, no, we're the fucking UFOs. We're the damn spacemen and shit, or aliens, whatever, extraterrestrial, because we're extraterrestrial. Terrestrial means flesh. If you fleshly, you just terrestrial. Extra means you have the soul of the spirit. That's the extra of it. The extra is the goal of the soul. The terrestrial is the physical. Ain't no ET and shit coming from outer space to save you. That's another shit they trick you to believe, where the spaceman are gonna come and clean this. Oh no, you are the spaceman. You, nigga, not the fucking Not no, ain't nothing coming from out there. It's from within. Even Kimpo said that shit. You know, I don't know if he was watching Ancient Aliens or something. That's some shit you gotta watch too. I mean, you gotta be careful when you're watching Ancient Aliens and all that shit. They need to come talk to me because they don't, the way they be talking. Do you think that the Egyptians knew about the little green man? It's like, bitch, he was a green man. The fuck are you talking about? Cut this shit off. That nigga. Well, I watched that shit a few times back in the game, around the time I first came home and shit. But I already know my shit, so I'm not looking at them to really learn something. I'm really studying that shit to see what they trying to lead people into believing. I'm looking at this shit, I'm like, and I'm not saying that all the information be wrong, but the manner in which they do it, keep that door open. Well, maybe next time we can find out if the aliens are coming back. And so, was they making contact? Was the Egyptians making contact with planet Zyron? Bitch, ain't no Zyron. The fuck are you talking about? Cut that shit out, man. We here now, man. Come talk to me. You need to. I can answer questions. I ain't being cocky. I'm just being honest. I know some shit. They be ancient aliens, people, Christ. I am him. Believe that shit. But we don't got to get all about me. Just keep to the scholarship. Come talk to me. Y'all sound like y'all know shit. You got all this money to make shows and been on for seasons and seasons, and you still don't understand what the fuck going on. You still marveling over paleontology and shit. Well, this bone from 1485 corresponds with the... Cut that shit off. The real niggas are back. I had to bring my brown on to represent tree walk life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, brown and green. Where we at? It's okay, so let me... I just get fed up with shit, man. Yeah, but we are the perfected man. You got to raise yourself up to that. Just being black and having melanin ain't gonna get it. Melanin is obvious. That's the outer surface. There's inner surface too. That the most potent melanin is the neural tract melanin that runs up the spine into the medulla oblongata. All melanin is half light in it, but if you don't bring your shit online, it's like you ain't shit. So you just another. Just being black ain't gonna do it. I'm blacker than black, and I got melanin. Look at my melanin. Oh, melanin is not alone. It's not gonna do it. You have to bring the light out of the melanin. This shit is about light. Gold miners. When I say gold miners, I'm not talking about picking, pickaxe and picking around. I'm talking about mining the gold within you and bringing it to the front, the way and cooling the energy up in that pineal gland. Let's get off the dumb shit. Ain't no aliens. Stop the bullshit. Just cut that shit out, man. It's getting old. And the motherfucker they talking about, I'm right here. Me and the real niggas, we right here. So it's almost like in disrespect. Like, bitch, I'm right here. You think they're coming back? I seen something the other night. No, that's me right here. Hey, hey, you see me right here? Well, Christ was supposed to come back, but no, bitch, I'm right here. I'm right here. Stop looking up the whole hill. That's a distraction. These niggas is crazy than a motherfucker, man. Eric is with the which is said to be so the spirit's perfected, which is said to be so glorious that Odin Sacker is the comparison. Odin Sacker in comparison was but a desert. So Odin Sacker was the world before the sun was formulated by the seven spirits and came back down to dig the earth out. So Eric is but the journey of the nocturnal sun or the annual sun in the inferior hemisphere, represented in the primitive form of a passage through the neither earth. Let me see. I'll read the rest of it. The aim and end of the Osiris on the journey by water or by land is to reach the circumpolar paradise and secure a place among the stars that never set. The glorious ones that beacon from the abodes where the eternals are. The Mount of Earth was the point of emergence in the mythology. It was the place of birth for the sun. Go check out my shit. I got Starface Summer and Starface Spaceship. I think Starface. I think it was on my new. I think my Creation of the Earth, Birth of the Sun series is on this page. summer. But Starface spaceship got some live shit too. My early days, I was going through some shit, so if I look a little disgruntled, some of them just know. But the information is solid. Yeah. The Mount of Earth was the point of emergence in the mythology. It was the place of birth for the sun upon the mount to the east where the temple of Sebek Horus stood. In the eschatology, it was the place of rebirth. I said that because what I was saying about the thing, but I was saying it was the place of the birth for the sun upon the mount to the east where the temple of Sebek Horus stood. In the eschatology, it was the place of birth for the souls or manes who ascended by the mount or by the tree of dawn to the summit from which they entered the bark of the sun to make the voyage over the waters around to Manu in the region of the west. This underworld, with its mount of birth as a point of departure for the sun and the manes in the east, became a traditional place and point of departure in the legends of various supposed this underworld with its mount of birth as a point of departure for the sun and manes in the east became the traditional birthplace and point of departure in the legends of various supposed ethnical migrations of a similar nature to that of the Jews in the Exodus from Egypt. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Ascended the mount or by the tree of dawn. The tree, it descends here, boom. Then it ascends and the souls come out, ascend the mount, the tree, the earth lands in its orbit. When it blows, after it blows off the bar. Come on now, I just had some shit. I just had them motherfuckers, man. Come on, man. Where is this shit going? That motherfucking fast. When the earth lands and it's on that third chakra from the sun, that's dawn. When it finally makes it there, it hits there at dawn on the earth. Stay tuned.